Okay, so just to open up the space and give anyone an opportunity who has a question about anything that I might have said to start with, or anything that has come up this last week, anything to do with world situation, anything, any question that you might have. You'll have to unmute yourself and say hello, because I might not see you because I might not be on your page.
Christine, it's Dawn from South Africa. Won't you please tell us more about your workshop on the 21st of February? Is it an online workshop? Thank you.
It is. It'll be done on Zoom. It'll be approximately something like from 10:30 in the morning through to about 6 o'clock. Of course, you're on my timeline, so it's easy in South Africa. That it's a very early morning for anyone in the States. Yes, I think I'll have to have an idea that the world is flat, I think, not round. It's inconvenient, this round. And I have found that working with the 4 directions, it's the one that, if I'm like some of the time when after Kevin had died, when I was in Egypt and I did my first lockdown, I didn't really speak to anyone, or I did the occasional workshop for about 2 years. And that was what sustained me and taught me, revealed things, supported me, everything. And it's just a profound truth that's in many, many traditions. And I think it's also, I find it very valuable in opening up the workshop space as well. And it's the earth holds this, it's very nature, it's very self, this wise wisdom. And with the correspondences of animals, colours and elements, we can take deeper and deeper the understanding of new beginnings and the understanding of letting go, etc., etc. So yeah, does that kind of cover it, or have you got anything else you want to ask about it?
No, thank you. That's perfect.
Okay.
And I will assume that you'll post it on the website.
No, I won't post it on the website, but I will send a message out on the database the same way as I send messages, send information about this group meeting. Yeah, now I've got someone helping me with registration now, so I can start putting out more information about the workshops. Yeah. Thank you. Anyone else about anything?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I can't unmute.
Anita?
Oh, yes. Hi, Christine. You mentioned at the beginning a link. Hello. You mentioned at the beginning a link for, what was his name? Sasha Stone and Sean Stone.
And
are you going to put that here?
Yes, in fact.
Yes.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, I will, seeing you've said it, I will do it now. But I can also, while I'm messing around doing that, I can also ask if anyone else has got any other questions, because I can try and do multitasking. I don't know what happens when I'm doing other things, whether you can still there you are.
Thank you.
So is anyone, I mean, I think a lot of people have had strong reactions to world events recently, and it all seems very chaotic. Has anyone got a question about how to deal with certain things that might come up? Patty, thank you.
Hi.
Patty, I'm going to mute you.
Right.
You need to mute everybody, and then if you can unmute yourself, please, when I've done that. Okay, right. Yes, Patty.
Hi.
Hi.
My question is, I try so hard to deal with what's going on in the world and not to let the fear aspect overtake me, but it does come in, and sometimes it feels almost overwhelming. And I know all the spiritual things I should do to cope with that, but sometimes it does seem overwhelming, and there is a lot of fear there, and I've come to the point that I feel I've just got to acknowledge that it is there.
Mm-hmm. That's the answer, actually. You're at the answer. So also there's the thing that there's our own feeling, you know, it's the fear that we're feeling for ourselves, that's ours. And there's also feeling the group fear. And if any of you live kind of more in city centres, then that intensity of fear is going to be greater than if you live more out in the country. Or, you know, where it's not as densely populated. But there is that absolutely this worldwide collective fear. And there is our own fear. So this is my recommendation here is to, well, what's one of the things that I do say, sorry, I'm just going back onto the idea for me that a lot of very, very well-known, popular, wise teachers say is it's important to let go of the fear, and don't go into the fear. You know, just feel the love, and you've got etc. etc. And I think one has to be very clear about this. So I had a situation today where I had to let go of the fear, and I think this is a very particular situation, and there are definitely two ways of looking at this and two levels. So I went down into the little village to the local shop, and you obviously got to wait outside. They only let 2 people in at once. And parked next on the road, it's just a little village and a narrow street, a narrow little footpath, and we're queuing, and there's a car here, and it's one of these big cars with 2 people sat in it, and they just sat there, and the engine is they just sat there, and the engine's going. So I decided that was not okay for me. It's like, yeah, I can deal with COVID, but carbon monoxide poisoning I have a problem with. So I walked around and just stood by the driver's window and said, you know, and initially I felt apprehensive about doing that, but you know, I let go of that. I decided to push through that fear. Well, it wasn't as much as fear, it was kind of more apprehension, but I pushed through that, not going to let that affect me. Went round to the window and said, excuse me, I have a request. And I said, I'm going to queue here, and if you're going to be waiting here a while, please can I ask you to turn your engine off? And they went, oh yeah, sure. So in that situation, I pushed through any sense of fear or apprehension. And but if fear is coming up, it is sensible, it is reasonable. And I think it is so important to honor the human journey, all of our history and our own journeys, our own experiences. It is very, very reasonable that we feel fear. Look at it, for heaven's sake. And anyone that said, just let go of your fear, I'm sorry, they are actually being unrealistic. So at one point in our history, and it's recorded in all traditions, in the Bible, it's the flood. It happened approximately 13,500 years ago. It was part of a extraterrestrial event as well. And it was a flood, and it destroyed most of life on this earth. And some of us humans survived it. Now, I really think, and I know this from the remedies that come up in homeopathy and how people are, you get a real sense of you know, how we are as a collective. And we experienced a deep trauma. And it's Alan and Delaire. I did do a video about all of this, but I didn't feel it was good enough, so I never really put it out. Perhaps I need to do another one. Yeah, so two professors, Alan and Delaire, they have done academic research that shows that is there. Barbara Hand-Clow, she has written a fantastic book about this, and about very, very well researched. It was an event, and it was an event on many levels, galactic, cosmic, and earthly. And it was utterly terrifying. And I think that all humans have within them still a sense of trauma and shock. And I think we're all, to some extent, suffering from post-traumatic stress. The only way out of it is to connect, to just connect as much as we can to that, that divine self that we are, and just know that that was part of the story. But it is real, and it is in our cellular memory. The practical thing that we can do right now is to sit in the fear, feel it, be with it, and the more we can be with this intensity, then the clearer we will understand what our personal fear base is. And if it's very overwhelming and very intense, perhaps it's the fear of death, perhaps it's the fear of annihilation, perhaps it's the fear of losing control, perhaps it's a direct fear of an event that happened in our childhood. It is valid, and it is an invitation to heal something very, very deep. And it's only from that higher self of self, a part of self, that we can embrace that we can sit with it. The love of the soul, the love of the higher self, whatever word we want to use, is great enough to hold that fear. We've just got to dare to go there. And the more of it we can, the more intensely, totally and truly we can allow all of that feeling to be there, then the greater the love will be from the soul self to hold it. We've just got to dare to go in it. Okay. Have you got a question that follows on from that, Patty?
No, not really. Everything you say really resonates, and I have been very much trying to connect to that side of me, the side of me that, well, the real me before Patty. But yeah, what you just said really helps, because I think I've been trying to think, yeah, okay, I acknowledge it, but I mustn't go there.
Yeah.
So I need to really let it be and really feel it, and see what maybe is underneath it all for me personally.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and this thing, I'm spiritual and I've done this. Sorry. etc., etc. And I've worked on myself. I shouldn't be feeling this fear. Of course we should. If it's there, then it's you know, this is that part of the attunement where we ask all parts of ourselves that we've disconnected through lack of self-love in all dimensions to return now. All the fear parts of us, all the fear that we feel are these parts of ourselves that we're separated from. Connect to them and it won't be afraid anymore. It's just an abandoned younger self. And it's part of growing up. It's part of being an adult, to be able to find the resources to love all the hurt parts of ourselves. And we can't, yeah. And sometimes, I mean, just to say this, that for some people, and this might be yourself or it might be someone you know, I do have to put a kind of thingy around this, caveat around this, to say that dealing with post-traumatic stress syndrome is a very specialized thing. And if anyone really has a you know, what can I say, a very potent experience of this, then absolutely I recommend professional help. It's and because there's a way of to deal with something extreme. We don't go right into it. Yes, you know, I feel you probably can embrace it, Patty. That's why I was kind of answering in that way to you. But for others, it might be we can touch it a little bit and then it's too much, come out. And this is where need to have resources. So to balance a good experience with a difficult experience. So we feel the fear, whatever, but have an anchor, feel it as much as we can, but then have a memory that we have where we felt safe, we felt secure, we felt cared for and protected, and to then have that memory, bring that memory up. And I mean, you can use NLP for this. There's all sorts of excellent professional approaches to dealing with deep trauma. So I don't want to just make a blanket statement without saying, do resource what feels right for you. And I don't know whether anybody has this idea that they've done workshops, they're spiritual, there might be a angelic Reiki teacher, and should be able to look after themselves, should be able to do self-healing, should be able to, etc. I think we all need help and support, and that is absolutely right, because probably the thing that I can, you know, I'd like to put a bet on it, that there was a part of our childhood when we were not unconditionally cared for. And that part of us can often be, mostly is too much for us to deal with on our own. And it's not about someone else taking the problem for us, it's about them supporting us and giving us the insight and resources and care for us to do our own processing. So don't feel you have to cope on your own. Do recommend always making sure that you have someone, a professional, a high quality professional of a different modality. No, and I don't have the idea either that angelic Reiki can cure everything. I think, you know, theoretically, possibly, but in practice, I mean, I always have a number of resources that I can turn to. But ordinary psychoanalyst, Jungian style is the one that suits me. And homeopathy and acupuncture are all people I turn to, the support I need. Don't try and do it on my own. Don't hesitate to ask for help. And I think we as humans, we have a program of coping. pull, you know, I mean, one of my father's mantras was pull yourself together, you know, stop it, etc. Yeah, thank you for that question, Patty.
Thank you.
It's always an important one. Yeah, yeah. So there is a place where we let go of the fear and push beyond it. To always go everywhere without a mask took a bit of courage at first, but no way am I going to succumb to that fear. I'm going to ask, what is the fear? What am I afraid of? And I'm afraid of authority, because I think because authority isn't safe at the moment. My greatest fear would be to be taken into hospital for some reason, you know, have a car accident and end up in hospital that killed me with COVID. No, they wouldn't, yeah, that kill me with their inappropriate approaches to COVID. They need the statistics. So it's appropriate, you know, to go around without any fear is stupid. Yeah. Thank you. Anyone else got something they'd like to ask?
If I may, Christine.
Oh yes, okay, yeah.
In your opinion, I don't know, maybe further down the line, once COVID has behaved itself and the figures have gone down, do you think that the healing will make any difference? Not just angelic Reiki, in any healing in general?
Difference to what? Difference in terms of what?
Well, like healing the COVID if somebody has got it.
Well, kind of yes and no. As far I know, this is a bit fringe, but as far as I'm concerned, there is no such thing as COVID.
Sure, sure.
So it's difficult to heal it because it doesn't. Yeah. There is something, and so it's a very helpful question, a very valuable question. There is something there, and obviously there is something there. But I think this is part of how we need to do our own research to find out what is actually going on. And most of the symptoms of people in hospital, for example, they're not viral symptoms. You know, the best information kind of comes out of New York, and in their hospitals where the doctors realized they were treating whatever, you know, somebody would come into hospital with COVID, supposedly, and they were given a certain protocol to follow, and some of the doctors spoke out that they were actually killing the people, not curing them, because the protocol was for a virus, and it wasn't a virus that they had. That wasn't the issue. So we do need to do things for the body. And I think vitamins, I hope Altair will write an article for the next newsletter. And if anyone else can write an article, I really, really appreciate it if you have expertise on vitamins and minerals. And there's a lot of good information on YouTube, and to find out what vitamin and mineral protocol will be right for you. And the important thing I can say about this, because the body needs, you know, if I don't take any vitamin D and give myself fantastic healing every day, I'm not healthy, because my body needs vitamin D. I live in Glasgow, you know, we don't do sunshine. So, you know, so the important thing is to realize that the recommended dose is ridiculous. I think the recommended dose for vitamin D is something like only 10% of what you actually need. You know, but that is the international or whatever recommended dose. It's pointless. It's not therapeutic. So we have really recommend that do appropriate things for health. The body, one of the thing that is totally unappreciated and misunderstood is the incredible ability of our immune system and our bodies they are designed to create health. We are designed to create health, not disease. All disease is poisoning from one kind or another. It might be chemical poisoning, it might be emotional poisoning through stress, through through how the body responds to too much stress in various types of inflammatory states. So we have, and to recognize that our food does not give us the nutrition that we need. And to really focus on as much as we can to live what would seem like the alternative life. Grow your own sprouting seeds and beans, for example. Grow pots of herbs. Yeah. Because they have the trace elements in that we actually need, should be in our food, but you know, supermarkets sell packets of things that fill you. They don't sell food. Yeah.
Thank you.
And just to say that all the legal actions that are being taken in various countries, especially Germany and Denmark, United States and Great Britain, where members of parliament, health ministers, researchers, medical researchers, etc., are being sued for breach of human rights in terms of creating lockdowns, etc. They're basing it on the PCR test. So the PCR test, which is the test that the hospitals do to see if somebody's got COVID, is the test that they have been told to do by the World Health Organization, but cannot test for a disease. So there is no test for COVID that is being used. So nobody can say if somebody's got it or not, because the test doesn't work. And the test, you know, and I can say that pretty straightly because that is that is the expert witness information that has been presented by international lawyers against governments. But that information is that strong.
I have a question, if I may.
Thank you, Dana. Yeah.
Sorry about it. Speaking of COVID, I personally have a very mixed up feelings about vaccine, about the COVID vaccine. What's your opinion on that?
It's, but please do your own research. And I'm going to, try and be very careful about giving opinions. But before I did Angelic Reiki, etc., I had a healing center with a number of different modalities there. And my personal profession was a homeopath. And homeopaths have got ways of, the way that they use homeopathy we are one of the alternative modalities that are very, very interested in vaccination and can actually see the fact of it. There is, so I'm trying to get links to specialist information on the website or on somewhere without getting blocked, without you losing the website, for example, and without being kicked off any of the platforms. So as far as it's, so for me, it's I don't call it that V word, I call it a jab, because that can't be picked up. It is, so the process, the medical process that most people think is happening is that a substance is injected which triggers, which is part of the disease that it's there to protect, and that is given so that the immune system responds to it, creates its own antibodies, and therefore we can defend against it. Okay, so two things. That is poor science and untrue, and has never been true. The other thing is that the one for what's going on at the moment is not actually, is not even that at all. It's genetic engineering. There is nothing of the disease that it's trying to cure in it. The traditional way of thinking about it creates a temporary short-term immune response. But then, and this is what, so the modern one, the new one, the one they're pushing at the moment, actually, so a virus is a short strand of RNA with protein around it. And when it's in the body, when the latest jab, what's it in that is a RNA strand. And this will cause the body to try and get rid of it. And it will respond to that. If there's any other thing that the immune system wants to get rid of, it will, it won't get rid of the infection. It will try to get rid of the short RNA strand that is in our cells, and it will actually create an autoimmune response. It will get rid of the cells, not the invasion. It won't come to this, I promise you, but they'd have to kill me before they can stick the needle in me.
Right. I have that feeling, and my daughter is extremely highly intuitive. She just channels, and she doesn't like it at all.
Trust her. This is again what this invitation, thank you. This again is what this invitation at the moment is about, for us to trust the soul self, our higher willing, our higher mind, our higher wisdom. That is the truth, not that is where we need to return to, our own innate wisdom, not external power, our power, not other people's wills and powers and agendas. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
LGK8 2017, have you a question? Hi, who is it? Hello. Anyone else got a question? Yes, hello, yes, that's fine. Please unmute yourself.
Sorry, Yeah, hi. Sorry, I didn't realize.
So
Good evening.
Your name is LGK.
Rita Masha Michael. Yeah. I joined late because I lost my sister, and the children and myself were, we're organizing the funeral, which
Okay.
will take place 2 weeks time.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, my dear. Yeah.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Yeah. Since I didn't start from the beginning, is it possible we have the record of it?
Yes, I have. Yeah, I've recorded it. It takes me quite a long time to actually edit and present it nicely. Okay. So it's a bit of an onerous task, but I've had so many requests this time for the recordings to be put out. They will be put out.
Oh, thank you.
It might not be straight away. Please look out. They're not public at the moment. They're not public. So specific links, but possibly next week, there will be all of the links to all of the talks on the website.
Oh, thank you very much.
But I'll be sending a message out. Okay, my dear, thank you.
All right, thanks.
Can I share a link about PRC test? There's a short video.
Yeah, do you want, I'm very happy to receive all good informational links. Email it to me, and I'll include it. Or you can put it on the chat here as well. Yeah, do that, Eric.
Yeah, it's a short video. Yeah. It's by the words inventor himself tells about it.
Yeah.
He died suddenly. Kerry Moss. He died suddenly in 2019.
Oh dear, whoopsie daisy. Fancy that.
Yeah, interesting.
Yes, sorry.
Okay, posted it. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll take that as well. Yeah. Yeah, he quite clearly said this is not for diagnosis. What the PCR test does is it multiplies what it's given, which don't prove anything. And there's excellent information out there now. There really is. Yeah. Okay. So thank you for being with us. Thank you to everyone that's here. And bye-bye for now. And hope to see you next Sunday. Okay.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.